Okay, now it should be able to be picking me up. Yeah, that should be my annoying ass. Sorry. My annoying headset. But you can hear me? Can you hear my voice other than just the head, or other than just the waterfall? Yeah, I tried turning down the boost so that it hopefully wouldn't be all like shh, but that didn't work. It's still shing. Anyways, I figure this would be easier to be like, hey, what do you think about such and such, instead of typing it out. She's going le gasp. That is the expression I went for, le gasp. Like, ah! But, you know, louder than that, so I'm not gonna scream, because that would, like, blow out your eardrums. Insert really high-pitched scream noises here. There we go. I don't know you wear headphones. I just figured that I could talk to you for some reason, because last time I was able to, so I figured this time I would be able to. And that way it'd be easier. Yeah. It was a complete and total guess. And I guessed right, so ha ha ha. Alright, so let's get to doodling, finishing doodling. Well, even without headphones, it'd still be super duper loud on a PC and or Mac. At least I would think so. I could be wrong. I like this expression of the gasp. The gasp. Thought about doing Inktober, because I see a lot of artists doing it, but no, so far no bites. So I was like, yeah, I'll do you a sketch and whatnot for pretty darn cheap. But I don't know. I honestly like my traditional art better, but it seems like nobody else does, so whatevers. That or they just don't want temporary art being sent to their house, which is completely understandable. Basically, you sketch inline stuff, but the catch to Inktober is, for the artist, what makes it hard, you're not allowed to, like in the sketch phase, you're allowed to sketch it. And then you're allowed to line it after that. You're not allowed to go and make any changes between the two, if that makes any sense. But you can sketch as long as you need to make it look right. It's supposed to be a challenge. It sounds fun, but I've never got to participate in it because either I've been way too busy with normal commissions, or nobody's been interested in purchasing. Like I said, I have a journal about it, and I'm not charging too much, other than like shipping. Well, I like to. It's just, like I said, nobody really pitches in. I also started, okay, I centered this. Why is it not centering? Wing it commissions, too. Because in my opinion, it's going to better my art. It sound better now? Yeah, my throat's all like gunky right now, so give me like 1 second to clear my throat. Alright, I shouldn't sound like I'm dying now, at least. Well, I was getting to where I was having problems talking myself. In the morning, because of the piggies, I tend to get a little gunky until my medicine kicks in for allergies. Because yay, being allergic to hay. It does count like a donut. I will save this real quick and then go into SAI, or not SAI, Photoshop. I know what I meant to say. And I'm sorry for all the static and whatnot. Like I said, I meant to fix it this weekend, and the weekend passed and I forgot. But I'm not sure if there's much that I can do to fix it other than getting a new mic, and I can't afford that. Maybe if I like open up like a Patreon or something. I don't know, maybe if these get big enough, I'll try to put it in my budget, but if not, then y'all just gonna have to deal with sucky microphone. Oh, I'm not dissing my sucky mic. It's actually a good mic, I mean, for what it is. It was a $50 mic. It's not like a Snowball or something like fancy like that. It's just a headset, so. That's what I'm saying. It's not the best. Like I said, if these actually get popular and people like want to come and like listen to me for some weird reason, then I might invest. But I doubt people are going to want to come listen to my weird voice. Alright, what do you want the mother to say? I actually don't like what this is. Delete. Let me do it this way. Maybe this. Yeah, I'll do it this way. No flopping on your face. Bad. Very bad. Oh. No flails. Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm gonna like shorten this again. Way too long. Sorry for clearing my throat and everything. This is also why I do not do voice thingy, because I'm usually really gunky in the morning and then it sounds icky and yeah, no. It's like yikes or something like that and I look forward. I had a font that was meant for comics, so I'm looking. So many fonts. So many fonts. Who don't like Valentine's Day where you get free chocolate? I like free chocolate. Or Easter where you get free chocolate. I don't know, that might be a little too corny. I kind of like it how you have it. It's simple enough to, because if you like emphasize too much on it, like in a comic, it becomes less funny, or not funny at all. I was alone for Valentine's Day too, but my father always got me candy, or my family. They're like, free candy. But my favorite holidays are the day after holiday sale, where I get candy. Candy. Because candy. Yes, candy. Shadow likes candy. You give Shadow candy, Shadow will be happy. And coffee. Even though I'm technically not supposed to have coffee, but I've been drinking coffee. Because coffee. I do like candy and coffee. And fruits and veggies and other things you're supposed to have, but you know. How can you not like coffee? Well, I only like this coffee from this Asian store that we have near us. And it's from like Singapore or something like that. It's like $1. So it's great because whenever I get like those coffee payment thing, people give me money for coffees, I go and buy those so I can get 3 of them, and it's amazing. I actually use my coffee money for coffee, unlike a lot of people. Because they are freaking addicting. Oh, it makes you tired. See, it doesn't normally keep me up, but I like the taste of it depending, but it's more of like a coffee milk, which is what I grew up in Louisiana, because everybody drinks coffee. But I prefer it like a little bit of coffee and a lot of milk. I have ADHD. But don't let that get you down. I don't remember which font it was for my comics. I had a font style that was like just for comics. I don't know what that is. I drink a lot of water. That's mostly what I drink. And Brandon kind of got me into soda again, but I weaned myself off pretty darn quickly. 'Cause it made me start gaining weight, and I don't like that. It makes my joints hurt more. Let's see here. Eventually I will find a font I like. Out of my like bajillion fonts. I just can't decide which one I want to use. It sucks. Ah, okay. So like I said, I don't get normal coffee, so I don't get, it's, you know, I guess you can say healthier for you, and it's mostly milk anyways. So. Oh yeah, I'll do that, but. Oh, my fonts are readable. I think this was the font, but it's still too big. That would cost you more because it wasn't in the quote. Sorry. But yeah, I thought about that too, or having him like drape off of her, but I didn't quote you for that, so I'd have to charge him more. And then feel bad. How's that font? It's not very cartoony, but they've always put bad music in their games. They have good music too, but I liked Rock Band's approach to things like they was on like the Xbox 360 and whatnot, where they basically had a song list and you could like buy songs to play. That was pretty cool. Or like song packs or something like that, where you get to choose what songs you want. It wasn't just rock. It was like rock, and then they had alternative, and then they had a lot. They had classics. They had metal. But when I remember, like I said, I don't have that game anymore. I ended up giving it to my sister because she liked it. And I ended up giving her my old Xbox too that they broke. I'm not sure, to be honest. Because it would mean that to me, it would mean that it happened before, so it's like, she's doing it again. So to me, I think it'd be funnier that way. That she didn't learn the first time, I guess. And you said you wanted her hourglass necklace, right? still don't like how I drew her leg in this diaper. It looks funny. There, I think that looks a little better. I need to go put a band-aid on my finger real quick. Be right back. Okay. That sounds like a predicament. I think I would cry if I couldn't find the TV remote. When I wanted to watch TV, that is. There, what do you think? Good to line? Why would I cry? Because I like watching TV. I watch a lot of anime. me switch up my pin nibs. So, how is everybody's morning? We doing good? How is your job doing, Chains? Are you doing well at it still? I know you said you were looking for something else, but... Were you full-time before? Thank you. Well, it's an improvement then, right? So that's a good thing. Yeah, but I would be so afraid that people would be like, I don't know. They wouldn't like it. They say, do it again. And I'd be like, oh, just spent like forever doing it though. I thought about maybe trying to do pre-mades one day. One day when I have more time. And I have more space. When Brandon gets, you know, or we get a house, then I actually thought about it. But that's gonna be a couple years from now. Because customs scare me. At least at pre-mades, it's like you get what you get. I'm afraid of bossy people. I don't like bossy people. wish this wasn't angled. It annoys me. There, that's a little better. I mean, you've been waiting for a while. Have they done anything on scurvy yet? I should say any more. I would message him again and be like, hey, how's the progress going? I mean, I understand why they say, you know, suits can take up to a couple months and whatnot, because it is a lot of sewing. I mean, a lot of sewing, but if they're not streaming or whatever, how do you know that most of the days that they're doing it, they're not just like goofing off or not even working? And then they decide to like basically rush everything at the end. See, that's always what's worried me about getting like a professionally made suit. Yeah, that sounds about right. So honestly, or truthfully, they should be pushing out at least, you know, a suit a month or something like that. Do they do that? I mean, at least with my way of doing things, how I like to do it is I don't work on like multiple projects at once. I work on one at a time, but to me it seems to, I do, I guess, more that way. I have something to show for it versus a bunch of half-done stuff. To me, that's like taking on more than, I know it's more than I can chew. But I understand, you know, suit makers need to pay bills as well. And it's kind of no different than, like, say, construction or whatever. You know, they take on a whole bunch of projects and then little by little they do them. That's why I don't like construction companies. Honestly, I don't know, because I've always been the one, like, I prefer having the commissioner be there in my stream and I get things right than having to go back and redo things a bajillion times. Because that's, like, you know, within reason, it's fine. It's just sometimes people ask for stuff that's not within reason, or they ask for, like, a lot more edits than normal. And not everybody does this, just I've come into contact with a couple people that have. I guess when it's like a reference sheet or whatever, yeah, I understand. Or if it's mostly it's a reference sheet, or if I miss something, then yeah, I totally understand, I'll fix it. But when it's like, hey, can you change X, Y, and Z, even though I didn't tell you this entire time, and I know you're done with it, but can you change this? Now, when it's little somethings or anothers, and they'll pay for it, I'm like, sure, yeah. But when it's like big somethings or anothers, like, I finished the entire picture. I've had this one time. Finished the entire picture, and they're like, I don't like that pose. Can you change it? I've sent you this many work in progress pictures and shown you the exact same pose for the last 3 or 4 work in progresses. And now you're telling me you want it changed. You can pay for it if you want it changed. And I hate being that kind of person, because I like being friendly and approachable and whatnot. Because, I don't know, I know a lot of artists that are really, really rude and won't do what the customer asks, but within reason, you know, I'll do what I guess the customer's always right within reason. It's when it's like ridiculous demands that don't even involve the picture that it's not whatever, you know what I mean. Well, I usually tell them I'll change it for a price, and then they can decide yes or no. I mean, I've had people actually be like, yeah, I would like it changed. Like, okay, if you're willing to pay the fee, then I'm willing to draw it. Like I said, if I ever do start suit making, it'll probably be for pre-mades. Draw something like an adopt or whatever, and then have the suit to go with it. I think that would be kind of cool. There's not very many of those. You know, I see a lot of pre-mades, but I don't see them that come with, like, art usually. I thought that would be a neat little idea. It's just the problem with doing both would be I would basically probably be transitioning, like, maybe 1 month do suit making, 1 month do art, 1 month do suit making, or so on and so forth. I don't think I can handle doing both, because art itself takes up a lot of my time. Hey, graffiti is a good way to start. I wish I could have learned how to do it. I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool art form. I like the bubble lettered looking things. I think they're cool. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why like I said, I'm kind of afraid to, if I do get a suit made, go with the big maker. Yeah, they have, you know, it's more likely to get a pretty suit, but at the same time, you have a queue because everybody else wants said artist as well. And usually suit makers take on more than they can chew anyways, because they gotta pay bills. Just like artists. I mean, I know a lot of artists that run into the same problem too, because they don't understand time management very well. Not saying I'm the best at time management, but I have gotten a lot better. I mean, I've never, I guess, run into the fact of having to, because my policy is, you know, if I don't get it done within a month, and that's a month of getting paid and not a month of getting paid and then having to wait on the client, answer a bunch of questions. But even still, I have always gotten my art done within a month, even having to wait on the client. Usually because I badger the client if I want to get it done. I don't particularly like holding on to things that I haven't finished, because I'm afraid that if I do, then by the time they're like, oh yeah, I'm ready for my commission, then I'll be like so swamped. Like I said, there's a lot of artists like that as well. I mean, I'm not gonna name any names, but even you can look at some of the popular artists and they take forever to do stuff, or they do the whole, you know, no timelines, I guess, thing, just like fursuit makers. I don't work under timelines. Don't work under time limits because it restricts my ability to do whatever. But then again, then they take on too much work trying to pay bills each month, and they end up with having problems because they can't finish what they originally took on to begin with. I mean, I know what I can and can't take on, and I usually tell people, you know, yeah, I can do that, or yeah, it's gonna take this long, whatever. I mean, there have been some times I've told people, yeah, it's going to take longer than a month to do your commission because I have a queue, and if that's cool, then I'll put you on my list, and if I don't get to you till the end of the month, or, you know, next month, then understand. Wow, that's pretty bad. Was it for scurvy or a different character? Yeah, and I know a lot of people do it that way too, and it said usually I can get basically everything commissioned for me in a month. That's why I normally tell people. There's you know, no more than a month wait from the time that I'm commissioned. But like chains, honestly, like if you see like I have a queue and it's a lot of small things, usually I can knock out a lot of small things in like a couple weeks. Or a week. Actually less than a week usually. So if you ever see that and you still want to commission me, like I have a lot of bust or something, I usually can knock those out in a day. Or two. It just depends on having to go back and talk to the client and being like, hey, is everything cool? And they're like, yeah, and then that's that. I figured. And that's like most people. I mean, I like to inform people, yeah, there's a wait, or no, there's not a wait, and that's why I like to post my little journal saying, yeah, I'm open for commission and I have a small queue. So that's normally when I get a lot of people, like right after I post that. I usually end up with my normal, like everything full, because people are like, oh, you know, she doesn't have as big of a queue, so I can commission her and get it within, you know, a week or two. I figured. I mean, I usually don't change my prices unless you ask for like clothing or mechanical stuff or extra like props or anything. Then pricing can change. Usually I try to work, you know, most of the stuff into my pricing as it is. So that you don't really have to pay more. Because I always feel bad, and I know that I don't even make minimum wage, but I always feel bad knowing that people, this is their like just entertainment budget, and I feel bad making them waste the entire entertainment budget on art. But yeah, my goal is to hopefully in the next couple years be able to make enough to cover minimum wage. That'd be nice. I mean, I'm getting there with my speed and everything. But I also would like to be able to give myself like a little raise here and there, kind of like most jobs give you like a 10% or something like that raise. I mean, I haven't raised my prices for the last 2 years. But I will be at the end of this year raising them by, I think, like maybe $1. I haven't decided yet. Some of them, not like everything. I mean, when I first started out in this fandom, I was charging like $5 or something like that for like a full shaded picture. and whatnot. It was pretty crazy. Yeah, Brandon was picking on me one time, and he's like, "Yeah, when I first bought something from you, it was like $10, and now you're charging like $20." Like, well, I know artists that charge $60 that are either the same quality or worse. So, and then not being a not safe for work artist makes it hard as well, because you only get a particular, I guess, degree of people that may or may not want art, you know, at any given time. So it makes it a lot harder to make a living. But I'm okay with that. I mean, the way I look at it is I would like to one day work for like Pixar or Disney or some animation studio of some sort. I think it'd be fun, but I don't see it happening. But even still, I would just like to keep my everything clean for the open, because a lot of those people, if you do that kind of art, will not hire you, because they don't want that associated with their company, which is understandable. Especially one for kids. Oh yeah, we still gotta do that video. I need to do it in when you get scurvy, we need to do it in fursuit. It'll be fun. It'll make it even more entertaining trying to do everything in a fursuit. We'll have to do like some people do, and they basically like blur out the picture, but you kind of get what the picture is without actually seeing what it is, I guess, per se. And just pick random artist and like pose like their art. It will be a really fun YouTube channel of being silly. I eventually do want to make a full suit, but it'll probably be of my Mano kit, not my not Ami. Just for the fact that I don't know. I just think my Mano kit, well, she'll be just as fluffy, or heal, I mean. I don't know. The only problem I have, the only reason I haven't made a full suit yet is because of my problems with getting overheated really easily. But I really want one. I think that maybe if I get like one of those cooling vests or whatever, that might help. I don't know. It's not like your average person that, oh, you get hot. No. Since I have that Reynard or whatever, my feet like turn into sausages, like literally. And the really bad thing is I can't really tell when I'm getting overheated. So, unlike most people, I can go, I am hot. I go, yeah, I'm hot, but I mean, I can't tell the difference between hot and like too hot. Yeah, I think it's pretty. Violin music is really pretty. Oh yeah, feel free to ask me like any questions or whatever about art or life or whatever. I mean, I'm here to talk. Otherwise you're going to be hearing like white noise. because otherwise I tend not to talk. Because in all honesty, I'm like a really shy, anxiety person. Don't particularly like to talk to people. Yeah, that too. Like the last time I went to that convention, that furry convention, I like flipped out when I did the dealer or artist alley or whatever, because I don't particularly like to talk to people. But it was an experience that I needed. I mean, I need to get better at socializing, other than my little group of friends that I have here. And I'm not referring to just you guys, I'm referring to like people that are I know in real life at the convention. Like, I probably could have sold a lot more if I would have been more, I guess, outgoing. It's just, it's hard for me. Ever since I was little, it always scares me. You probably do. Probably don't know what it is. I would imagine y'all do, because I think every, like, area has a con. Yeah, I heard about it. It's sad. I don't understand why people do that to other people. I mean, why would you want to kill somebody? It's not cool. For no reason is it cool. I mean, innocent people. People that were just going to enjoy a time at a concert. I mean, the world's gotten crazy. Yeah, I heard about it, and I was gonna ask you, but Booty had said that you had replied that you were okay, so I was like, yeah, because I wasn't sure. I was under the assumption that you didn't like country music. Don't ask me why, but I was under the assumption. So a question for you, do you like country music? That way I know to be worried next time or not. Ah, don't tell me that, and I'm gonna worry next time. Supposed to say no and make me feel better about not asking. That, and I didn't want to bother you because I figured you were sleeping. Yeah, if you ever hear anything about any shootings in Detroit, I don't usually go to concerts either, so I'll be fine. Brendan used to, but he don't anymore. Like I said, I don't particularly like to be around a lot of people. Like, the only events that I go to around a lot of people usually have to do with Brandon's work. Otherwise, I don't even think we've been to the movies very much this year. Like, I'm not that bad, but I can be in a movie theater with people. I'd rather not, though. But it's mostly just, like, people I don't know. I don't know why. It just makes me, like, really nervous. What's weird is I can put on my fursuit, and I am A-okay unless somebody hugs me without asking, and then I, like, freak out. Unless I know them. Like, I've had people randomly come up and glomp me that I know, which have scared me, but once I realize who it is, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not scared anymore. Like, my friends at, like, furry conventions, they'll randomly come up to me and, like, tackle me. And be like, you're so cute! I'm like, yay, I did cute well! But I mean, when I've done like anime conventions, I usually do Haruhi from Oran because she has my personality. I've been glomp before and it has scared me. Like scarred me. I don't mind if you ask to hug or whatever, or ask to whatever, well, within reason. Like, I don't want nobody doing, like, touching me inappropriately or anything, but you know what I mean? If you ask, then I'm more than welcome to do hugs and whatnot, but if you just do it, that's usually when I, like, freak out. I have a personal space issue, I guess. Yeah, I tend to do that too. I kick and punch, and it's bad. It's really bad. But that's one of the reasons why I have a handler that's like, yeah, don't, you can ask to pet, or you can ask to touch, or you can ask to whatever, but don't just do it. She will, like, freak out on you. Like I said, I also, it's usually anxiety, and I get, like, anxiety attacks, and that's never fun to play with. Especially when you're trying to have fun at a convention. But I haven't really had that many, like, super bad people or anything. It's been, for the most part, pretty chill. My friend, on the other hand, she had this one person. Here's story time. She had this one person. We went to a furry bowling event. This is also the reason why she won't... Actually, I think she did last time. She actually wore Rapture, but she didn't the time before. She was, like, freaking out because... Anyways, this guy would randomly come up to her and start, like, touching her chain and petting her and whatnot, and, like, it was really, really awkward. And I kept, like, elbowing my husband in the side to be like, hey, you know, this random person is touching our friend. Make them stop. So he would, like, tell him to go away, and the guy would go away, and, like, literally 5 minutes later he'd come back. Start doing it again. I think he must have been on something, honestly, because how he was acting just seemed like he was on something. Yeah, after that she was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be fursuiting at these events anymore. But I think she did last time, but I'm not sure if that guy was there. But I know she had a lot more friends last time that would, like, basically kill that guy if he did anything. Because Brandon, my poor husband, wasn't just watching her, he was also watching me, so, and bowling, so it's kind of hard to, I guess, pay attention to everything at once. Especially with, like, for me, I have a problem with night blindness. I don't really see very well at night. Especially without my glasses. One of the reasons why I do wear my glasses at night. But, usually in a bowling alley I can't see very well. Because I can't wear my glasses with my fursuit because I didn't hollow it out enough to wear my glasses. I keep telling myself I'm going to do it, and then I forget about it. And the next time I put it on, I tell myself I'm going to do it, and then I forget about it. And so on and so forth, the cycle repeats. But yeah, that was my story. We ran into a very interesting fellow. And she decided that she wasn't going to suit very much after that. But she still suits Rapture and whatnot, and she does it in public events, in public areas. It's like she's not afraid of actually suiting, it's just some people are weird. Just that's one of the things you gotta know just when you get a suit, that there's gonna be weird people and people that don't understand and people that, like, I've ran into a lot of people that usually have, like, I'm not trying to be mean, but they have, I guess, mental, I have mental problems too because I have ADHD, but, like, they don't quite understand. Those people I'm okay with. They can touch me because, really, honestly, they don't know any better. So that's cool. I mean, honestly, I'm like, whenever they go, kitty, I get all excited too. Because it makes me happy. Just like with little kids. I'm okay with it because, the point of fursuiting to me is to make people happy. I mean, around this time of year, every year well, since last year really, I'm going to be doing it this year again, but the apartment complex that we're at, they host a Halloween event. So I dress up as Ami, and I go entertain the kids until they're ready to do trick-or-treating. And the apartment complex was thinking about possibly, I'm not sure if they are or not, but paying me to do it. I mean, if they do, that'd be great. If they don't, then oh well. I just like doing it because, for one, it helps the parents rile their kids up because they're sitting there for several hours until everybody gets there to where they can go trick-or-treating, so it gives the parents a break. But I know last year there were several kids that wanted to take me home and adopt me, and it was really cute, and I wanted to go, oh, but I couldn't. Ami just meows. Just meows. It really breaks my heartstrings when kids do that. I'm like, oh, I'm loved. And I'm believable enough to be whatever animal they think that I am. And Ami's actually a dragon, but since the form that I chose for her fursuit was mostly her young form, which she doesn't have horns. And I decided with her new suit, I didn't add the whiskers. I still haven't added the whiskers yet. Her old suit does, but they consider the whiskers, even though they're long, they consider them cat whiskers. So I don't know, I might end up changing her old suit, because I really only wear it for the kids anyways. I might end up actually, like, taking out the whiskers that I currently have, which are her long dragon whiskers, and putting in, like, cat whiskers. I still have all the stuff that I made the whiskers to begin with. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, fursuiting is like super fun, especially around kids. Well, some kids. I mean, some kids like freak out and cry, and it makes me sad. Usually those kids I do not approach. And I try to, or I get Brandon to, since I don't talk, try to tell him that if, you know, if the kid doesn't want to come see the kitty, the kid don't have to come see the kitty. No, I haven't got one for Liba yet, and actually Ami's my other main. They're both sisters. I haven't decided how I want to either do Liba or if I want to get Liba made. Because I have a friend of mine, Josie, she's a suit maker, and she was going to originally do Liba, and I don't like to, I know she's like super busy, so I don't want to, and I don't have the money yet to do Liba anyways. But I don't want to pack more work on her. I'd feel bad. But that's who I eventually want to get to do my Liba. With floppy ears, because floppy ears are best ears. Liba I've had since I was in middle school. She actually originally was named Reaper Wolf because, you know, kids and, oh, death is awesome and all that kind of stuff. So, originally she was just a wolf. She was blue because I had a bunch of colored pencils and blue was my favorite color at the time. Or that particular color, blue, was my favorite color at the time. Out of all the colored pencils, and I'm like, yep, my character's gonna be blue. And she had a whole lot more spots than she has now. Like a ridiculous amount of spots. And then I decided to kind of wean her off so many spots. Because I didn't figure she needed that many. I can look and show you a picture of how she originally looked. Let me go look. I have one in my DeviantArt. See some super old shadow art. When I find it. Might be in my scraps. Let me look. Oh, and this was when she had that face marking. There's a picture of her. And here's a full body picture. And this was when I was in school, college. That's how she changed. And then, of course, how Liba looks now. I know, right? I said the same thing. I was like, I drew all those spots. Oh gosh. Oh, she was originally feral because I didn't know how to draw anthro, and I didn't know what furry was back then. Gotta remember this. This was back when I was like little. So furry didn't really exist back then. It did, but it didn't, in my opinion. Ugh, I don't know how I want to do this. Your stripies are being a pain. Well, I have like even older stuff than that. If you look through my scraps on DeviantArt, you can see like some of my super old stuff. But I'm not too particularly proud on it because it's not like my best. Like nowadays, I like my work. I think it's pretty. Back then, not so much. But same thing can be said probably about any artist. Your old stuff you're like, eh. And your new stuff you're like, yay. I mean, I can look back when I first started on For Affinity and go, wow, I got paid for that? Like, I was looking back on some art that I made for Hoff that he has in our room still, and I'm like, wow, that's bad. I remember those too. That was fun. I don't really offer them anymore because I don't really get very many of them, so I actually have stopped offering that as a thing. Sadly. I mean, like, if it was like a custom request, like somebody was like, hey, I'll pay you such and such for art lessons, then I would probably do it. But honestly, like I said, I started on FA drawing My Little Pony. I never really knew like the old FA or anything because I got introduced to it by somebody that was in the pony fandom that I drew for once on DeviantArt, and they were like, hey, you know, I was starting to draw anthros really badly, but I got paid to draw anthros. And they were like, hey, do you know about FA? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, here's a link to it. It's a furry website. And I'm like, okay, what's a furry? And they're like, all that stuff you draw. Oh. Like, yeah, and they have My Little Pony stuff on here too. I was like, oh. So, like, my entire first year on FA, I didn't, like, draw just pony. I drew furry stuff too, but I don't like when I first joined FA though, because I posted on the forums thinking, you know, I posted my prices, which are really bad. Because I was like, I'll do stuff starting at $1. Which is, never do that. Never start at $1. It's bad. You will get people that expect you to only work for $1. It's never good to start at $1. It's never good to start at $5 even. But to develop a client base, you kind of have to, and then, you know, work from there. raise your prices slowly but surely. But anyways, I posted on the For Affinity forums, and this was back when they were actually like getting somewhere with the forums, and one of the admins on the forums, I'm not sure if they're still an admin anymore, and I don't remember their name, and I'm not gonna shame them in the stream anyways, but they were like, your prices are too low. If you can't raise your prices, then you don't need to be doing art for a living. You need to go back and you need to reevaluate your art skills, basically, if you can't charge more. And I was like, that's, you know, because at the time I still am, I was learning out, I had lupus. I was learning that I'm not going to be able to work a normal job very easily, if at all. And basically this person is telling me that I can't draw on this website because I don't have good enough prices in their opinion. I can't basically get a start. So, but after that, I haven't really gone on the forums very much, because every time I go on the forums, usually I get in trouble for either posting something too many times. Like, one time I was on the FA forums, and I'd forgot, because I go on there maybe once a year, like literally. So I went on there, and I forgot they had a posting limit that you're not supposed to post more than one picture in 24 hours, you know, like post. And I posted 2 pictures thinking, you know, here's an example, here's an example, here's an example. They banned me for like a week. And chewed my butt out for doing that. And I even explained to them, you know, you can see the last time I've been on here was over 6 months ago. And you're expecting me to remember stuff from 6 months ago. Yeah, I'm getting there, Chains. And they're like, well, if you can't follow the rules, then you don't need to be on here, basically. Like, well, that's nice. So after that, I was like, yeah, I'm not getting on there, because every time something bad happens whenever I'm on there. I mean, every single time. And I'm not going to sit there and reread the rules every time just to post something. I mean, that's kind of silly. And then worry about if I'm going to get banned or not. Because I might have missed something. And they changed their rules a lot as well. So you never know when you're right or you're wrong or whatever. Wait, what do you mean there's a spot on her face? Where am I missing spots? Oh, I see it. Thank you. Yeah, don't go on the forums. They're, like, pretty bad. Like I said, I think I might have gotten 1 commission off of them, and it was one of those people that basically were like, hey, if you'll draw this for $5, I'll commission you. I mean, the lowest price you can offer on the For Affinity forums is $5 for any commission. So, normally people's starting prices are $5, and the higher up artists get all upset about that. Because they charge more, and like I said, one of the moderators was one of those artists, and they got mad at me, and they chewed my butt out about me not deserving to be an artist, needing to go back and relearn everything. And like I said, the sad thing was, I was getting commissions, I was being paid, so I didn't understand, I guess, their logic and things. You know, now looking back on it, I'm like, yeah, I guess I probably should have charged more at the time, but they went about it in a completely wrong way. I mean, I almost had quit FA because of that, because it made me really upset. Especially for a moderator to do. Like I said, just your average person going and being like, yeah, maybe you should raise your prices or whatever, instead of being like, you should raise your price, and if you don't, you're never going to get blah 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 blah. I wish I still had that post and I could show you guys, but I don't. But yeah, it was a ruin my day kind of thing. But luckily I did stay on FA, and I did get commissioned still, and I didn't care what those people said on the forums. Because I was going to run my job how I wanted to run my job, and if they don't like it, tough cookies. And from that, I've met all you cool folks, and I still get commissioned, so. That was story time number 2 of when I joined FA. So yeah, I try not to remember that, and try to let everybody know that the forums are not the best place to be, because stuff like that can happen to you, especially, like I said, especially if you're just starting out. It's a good way to, I guess, kill off the competition. I don't even know if that moderator though is still like working or not. Oh, and then I remember one time I've actually had a suspension on FA once for posting a your character here, back when they had that your character here rule, to where you could only post it like, only post the same picture, you know, once every once period. So I got creative and I decided, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post the picture, but around it I'm gonna, you know, change stuff. Like, it won't be the exact same picture, it'll be similar, but it'll be a little different each time. Or I'll put like one of my characters doodled around and be like, hey, check this out. Well, one of the FA monitor people, I won't say who, because again, I don't remember who it was. I do, but I don't. But it was like, don't post the same image again. So I was like, okay. So I changed a lot about it. You know, it's the same picture per se, but like, it was in the corner. The rest of it was completely different, something new, something whatever. Within about 5 minutes, I got banned for like 3 days. A suspension for 3 days on FA. And I was just so upset because I had commissioned in the works and I couldn't talk to my clients. That's one of the bad things I don't like about FA is when they suspend you, it's not just hurting you, it's hurting the client too, because now they gotta wait for however long for you to contact them about your picture. I mean, in a way I understand, like, some things I do understand, like, and I read a journal about somebody a while back that got suspended because they were posting, you know, how they were upset with the world basically, and got suspended for needing to seek mental health or something like that. It's like, okay, now you stop their income, so they're really going to be needing to seek mental health stuff now. I mean, that's not really helping them, that's hurting them even more, putting them more into a depressive state. But yeah, that was my first and only time I've ever gotten in trouble, like in trouble on FA. And then, literally, not even a month after that, they got rid of that, oh, you can only post your character here ads. You can post them, you know, as long as you delete the old one or whatever, you can post them. Which is like the new rule that they have now. Or you put it in your scraps or whatever. Anyways, the same one can't be in your gallery. And I was like, it was funny because when I got banned, Brandon loaded up his FA, because technically I can't be on FA, so I understood that. But he loaded up his FA, and within 5 minutes, there was more year character heroes going up, and it was the same ones that I had seen before. They weren't getting banned. Wow. And we followed one person, and they had posted it literally every single day. They didn't get in trouble. And it seemed like the more popular artists were the ones not getting in trouble, and the little ones like me were the ones getting in trouble. Which was messed up. And I think a lot of people complained about that, because I wasn't the only one to notice it. And they had to end up changing their wording to what they have currently. But yeah, stream ads used to be you could only post them once a day, and you had to take down the old one. Which, you know, I was fine with. I just moved my old ones to my scraps. But they changed that as well now to where it's, you know, you can post them a couple times a day, which is still alright. Because I guess, you know, they kind of tried to cut back on allowing people to, I guess, advertise, because a lot of the people that are on there just to look at artwork were getting upset. But the problem with that is then they lose their ad revenue from people, and well, not just their ad revenue, just people in general on this site. They start going to other sites that will, you know, cater to the artist versus cater to the just the random person that's not gonna be buying art in the first place. I don't know, I think it's stupid, honestly. Like, I understand to a degree why they do it, because they don't want just any random folks posting like 1,000 of the same picture, which is weird because they haven't said anything at about my little bobbing your character here, because it's basically the same thing over and over and over again. But I guess it's just so that people don't complain to them. But honestly, furries are going to complain about everything. But they're trying to appease the masses, and it don't work out too well for them. Like I said, that didn't last but like a couple months. Just like the no posting more than 10 images a day didn't last more than a couple months. Because then people would stop posting in general because they were afraid of getting suspended. If they accidentally posted, you know, one more than 10 images a day, so people just stopped posting on FA and they posted their artwork elsewhere, and so FA was losing, you know, people coming to the site looking at art because people wouldn't post, the artists wouldn't post it. Yeah, it was like last year, I think. Well, you were only allowed to post like 10 pictures a day, and a day meant 24 hours, by the way. So you couldn't post, like, say you were up at like midnight and you decided to post, and then you wanted to post 10 at like 12 again. No, you would get banned. Alright, any changes to this, Chains? Alright. Yeah, it was, I think it was like last year when they did that. See, I'm horrible at making stories, though. That's why I normally just post the same thing, because I'm really, really bad at it. I mean, heck, if you make a story, I am totally willing to copy-paste it to this image when I post it, but I am really bad at making them myself. I am not a writer. By any means am I a writer.